Good evening, everyone. Welcome to ODX Indicators webinar. I hope you guys can see my screen and I'm audible. Please type yes in the chat box. Okay, great. So, as you guys know, this is the ODX webinar, and we are going to discuss about the ODX indicators. This is the overview webinar. So, we will talk about all the indicators which are there under ODX. And before I start this webinar, as you guys already know that ODX is a ODX are custom indicators. So these are third-party add-ons. When you subscribe Quantower, you need to additionally subscribe the third-party add-on. There are many third-party add-ons. ODX is Option Dynamics Indicators. So you need to sign up and pay here. Remember that you can use the code ODX5. You can use the code ODX5 to get 5% discount. All right, so let's start. Now, before we discuss about this particular indicator, to apply the indicators, you have to right click and go to the indicators and add indicators. Then here, when you will search for ODX, you will find many indicators under ODX, right? So we are going to discuss about mostly all the indicators which are there. Now, the first indicator that we will talk about is the custom OI profile. You can see the name here, custom OI profile. Now, these are OI profiles. So, we have been when we trade the options, we give a lot of importance to the open interest, right? But what a lot of people look at is the open interest, overall open interest. Now, this custom OI profile, what they do is they show you the open interest data, but in a much better way. Here the insights are really useful. Let me show you an example. Here, what it shows is there are two profiles, and you can see all the strikes which are there. Okay, I will not talk about the settings here much. This is just to give you an overview. For settings, there are already videos available, and we also conduct webinars on same. So I'll just give an overview. You can see the call and put. These are the strikes, right? These are the strikes, and the green here you can see it will show you the increase and decrease in the open interest on both sides. Okay, so when I click on any particular candle, there are two profiles, right? When I click on any particular candle, you can see the data will change in both, right? Data is changing in both, but what is it showing? The first one is the selected candle. How do I know? You can read the name of the first profile. It's selected candle change in OI. When I say selected candle, that means when I click on any particular candle, it is showing me the open interest data for that particular time. Okay, so this is at around 1. So in the 5 minutes, what was the open interest? There was an increase in open interest or decrease in the open interest on both sides. You can see. So on the call side, you can see there was the addition 10,000 on the 23 2000 23 200 strike. Then there was almost 9K on 23,150. So you can see this is the increase in the open interest. At the same time, there was an increase in the open interest on the put side as well. You can see these are positive number, 5.74. Okay, so this is these are the open interest in lots which are increasing. At the same time, there's a covering also happening. So you can see there's a covering on 22,800, which is the biggest covering happening across if you see all the strikes here. Okay, so it shows you the data for the any strike whether there's an increase and decrease. Now there are some numbers which you can eye on, which could be really important. Say a sudden increase or decrease of a really bigger value. Now the value you have to obviously do your own research to find out that what value works in a 5 minute time frame. Remember that open interest data is up to we get this data in up to 3 minutes, right? So you have to use the this indicator on a time frame which is more than 3 minutes. So I've applied it on 5 minutes. I would suggest you that if you want to use this indicator, better to use it for 5 minutes. So let us see some examples. You see, when I click here, there's a lot of covering happening on the put. Why there's a covering happening? Obviously, writers want to run away. They are already expecting market to fall, so they want to cover their positions. When I click here, you can see that there was some open interest building up here, but you see a lot of covering, and especially on 22,800. When I click here, which is the biggest candle, okay, you can see there are a lot of covering happening here. Now there are obviously writing happening on both the sides as well. That is because a lot of straddles also been created. You know that a lot of traders They trade intraday straddles, and they keep on shifting as the market moves, right? So this particular one shows you the open interest for any particular candle, but the other one shows you the open interest for that particular day. Now remember, this is for intraday. So market stats around 9:15, right? And we whatever the data that we get, we getting the data from the morning. This data is represented here. So when I click on this particular candle, it is showing me the open interest data from 9:15 to 1, right? So you can see the overall open interest, the highest open interest that has built up today, right? We are talking about the intraday traders, the fresh open interest that has built up. This is not the total open interest. This is the open interest, which is it is the range from morning till now. Okay, so that is why I'm saying intraday. Okay, fresh open interest today. So till 1. So you can see the highest is on 23,300. And you can see majorly the open interest that has built up is on the call side, and these are the numbers. Okay, so the which numbers are important, you can that you need to check. You need to spend some time, and you will come to know that which ones are important. When I click here, you can see the open interest is now more than 1 lakh lots. This is 60,000. Okay, there's no hardly any open interest on the put side. So obviously the market was already bearish. Okay, so this is open interest. This is change ODX custom OI profile. The reason to create this indicator is to give you better insights. Okay, in a much better way. The visualization is much better. But how about I tell you that even though I'm getting the data in a much better way, but the data is still is updating in 3 minutes. Okay, the data, the NSE provides this data in up to 3 minutes. So a lot of scalping trades are already missed, because scalping is a game where you might be trading 1 minute or even less than that, right? In 3 minutes, maybe the moment is over. So to for this we have another indicator. The reason to create this indicator is to get trades quickly, because this is a real time data. This data that you see is a real time data. Now this indicator is called ODX profile. So we created this indicator because open interest is lagging. Open interest not every time gives you the a better rate, especially somebody who's a scalper or who wants to trade or who wants to enter early. Okay, not every time you will see a really big momentum where you can book your profits. This might happen 1 or 2 times, but a lot of time obviously the market is in a small range, so you need a early entry. Okay, and you can scalp. This is the that is how one can trade. So that is the reason to create the ODX profiles. Now these are not open interest. Remember this thing, these are not open interest, but this data shows you the total buy and sell that is happening on calls and puts. You can see that these are similar to OI profile. The representation is same. These are calls, these are put, and these are strikes. But this shows you data. This shows you the values. Okay, absolute values that okay, the net buying has happened. Say selling has happened 5.66 crore, or buying happened 1.96 crore. I'll give you an example. Say if I click on this particular strike, what do you see? Do you see that 6 crores, 8 crore, almost 12 crore, 9 crore, 11 crore? What is this happening? This is obviously the covering happening on the put side. And to cover their the writers covering the put, they need to buy their puts, right? So that is why there's a lot of buying happening on the put side. Not because why would anybody buy in the money? Obviously, in the money put, obviously they want to cover their positions, right? So this is they're buying the put is basically because they're covering. Obviously, there are fresh buying also happening. You can see a lot of buying happening on this particular candle where the market was around this area, 23,182. A lot of buying was happening. You see out of the money put. So this data tells you the buying and selling, okay, in absolute money terms. And this is real time. You can check, you can even check 10-second candle, you can check 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute. This data is real time. Okay, so you have an edge here. So when I click on the first, when I click on this particular candle, I can see the data, and obviously the main selling that started was from here. You can see a lot of covering. When I click on this particular candle, you can see really big values. Now, when you see a big values like this yellow is the point of control. That means of whatever the value that you are looking, this is the biggest one. Of whatever the value you are looking, this is a big one. So whenever a really big value, say here the 10 crore is a really big value. So whenever a value something like this, 10 crore or more shown, on the same strike. This I call personally shifting. When I say shifting, I means that the momentum has changed. Okay, and the expectations from here is that the market is bearish. Okay, market is bearish, and especially, just one second, let me remove this. Especially, they're expecting that market will not go above this particular scale. Anything can happen. It's a funny market, but the expectation is that that market will not easily break 23,200. So those who are right traders, they're buying. Even a buyer, if the market comes around, there are opportunities to buy put or maybe sell calls again. So this is where the highest selling happened in the call side. That means that the market, that means that why would anybody sell call? Obviously they're expecting the market is bearish. Why would anybody buy calls of 2300? Because they're expecting market to go, market to fall, right? So this is why ODX profile is important. Now obviously there are again two profiles, same as the ODX custom OI profile, but here that things are different, because this is a real time data. This is a real time, you get the data live. The other profile shows you the real time change which are happening. Okay, it shows you the real time change that is happening. That means when you apply the indicator, you can select any candle. Like example, I can click on this candle and you can see 23. You can see the shift, a lot of shift that has happened from here to here. Okay, when I click here, let me just click back again. You can see 20 and 35. Now 35 is a really big number. You can see when the market came up, it got rejected around this level because a lot of bearish shift has happened, because selling in the call is really big, 20 crore, and buying on the put is around almost 35.5 crores. That's a really big number. Okay, so that is why the market is taking a resistance around this level, right? So this is a selected candle, but this one is live. Okay, so when I apply, say, any index, say Nifty or Bank Nifty, you will see that this will play live. This will play live means that will, whatever the live data, okay, say suppose at around one, what is happening around one, it will show that. Okay, in whatever time frame you have chosen, I would suggest that use this indicators for 5 minute or lesser time frame. Okay, so this is live. Sometimes you may not require live. You can go into the settings and you can hide this one, because the selected candle also can work as a live, but for that you need to click on the particular candle. You can see now data is similar, 2.50 crore, 2.50. Now the data is similar because I have clicked on this particular candle, right? So you can use only one. You can hide this one if you want to. There are options to do that. So you can basically hide this, and if you want, you can shift this to this side by keeping it on position 2. So there are multiple positions here. Okay, I will not talk about much about these settings, because for that you can check the other webinar. So now I have done these settings. Now let us see. So you can see I have shifted this one to here. Okay. So much a better chart. It charts are much more clear, and you have much more space here. Okay. So this is the ODX profile. Just remember one more thing, that majorly ODX profile is used for index. So Nifty, Bank Nifty, and a really good advantage of the ODX profile is a lot of trader who trade order flow, based on order flow, they cannot trade, they don't get the order flow data in the futures, because Sensex does not have really active futures, right? So for even if you are trading Sensex, it is better to use the ODX rather using the rather looking at the futures, because future will not give you any idea, because it's not actively traded. So to decode the options, ODX profiles are better. You can apply Sensex chart and apply the ODX profile. Okay. Now moving on to the next indicator I will talk about is a complement indicator. Now when I say complement means, now I know that looking at this data, when I click on any candle, I can see that what has happened. Okay, how many crores of buying has happened, how many crores of selling has happened. But but will I just click on every candle? No, not at all. That is why there's a complement indicator. This indicator, because it complements to ODX profile. What it does is it adds on all the buy and sell and makes a histogram which tells you that which candle to check. Right. So this indicator is called ODX total buy sell aggregator. Now, total, the reason there is a name total, because it totals everything. Okay, so there might be some buying, there might be some selling on the calls. It will add all that. There might be some buying, or there may be some buying in the put, and they're also selling on the put, right? So it adds all that, and it shows this data in such a way where you know that what is happening in the market by just looking at the ODX total buy sell indicator, and you know which candle to click on. You can see that there was nothing happening until this candle. So everything started from here. And let me just zoom in a little. You can see really big values, 10, more than 10 crore, almost 10 crore. Okay. And then another, this one, you see, again, a lot of, then here, then here. And after that, suddenly there was red on the downside. Okay. That is because a lot of, puts being are also sold. Okay. So this is a trap. This is where, somebody might be buying put, they got tracked. Okay. So it can only be understood through the ODX indicators. Let us understand. Let us understand the indicator first. You can see there are two. There's already mentioned total buy and total sell. Total buy means it will show you the buy values upside. Total sell down arrow. That means selling will be shown on the downside. So there can be buying in the call, there can be buying on the put. Whether it's buy, call, or put, both value will be shown upside. You can see there is this is what is the color of the call. You can see the color of the call here. Okay, so if there is a say if there is a buying in the call, you can see here. If there is a buying in the put, you can see here. Okay, you can see the red bar here, bigger red histogram. That means there's buying happening in the put. I can click here and it can show you. You see, buying happening in the put side, right? And if there is a selling happening in the call, if I can see that here the selling are happening, so you can see this bar here represents the call, right? And if there is a selling happening in the put, that can also be seen. So the next candle, there's a selling happening in the put. So that can also be seen. So the below one shows the selling. Okay. Now this overall is also important, because if I keep my cursor here, look at the metrics here. The metric shows that total selling that has happened in the call is 90 crore. These values are in crores. And the total buying that has happened in the put is 210 crore, which makes this candle really important. Okay. And it was such an important candle, and this happened that it was not easy to go and easily go and close below this. Okay. Unless you see this was a really important candle, and there was one candle which closed below this, but there was not much happened. Okay, see the histogram bars are not really that big, so not to follow this, Okay, but this was a really important candle, and the market has closed in between. Now tomorrow you have to obviously check whether how market opens, whether in between this or above or below, because this can give you a really good support resistance. If say it opens here only, and the moment it is breaking above this side, you need to check the ODX profile to see whether big values are coming on the call side, buying side or not, whether there is a selling put happening or not, which is all equals to bullishness. If say the market is breaking on the downside around this area, you need to check whether there's a selling in the call and there should be buying in the put. This results in the bearishness. So whether this is happening or not. If it opens above or below, when the market comes around this area, you need to check whether it's giving resistance or support or not. Okay, so this can really this is really useful. Okay, because this is what the options data is showing, because it is decoding the options data based on every strike, right? So this is why the total buy sell aggregator is a very very indicator which complements this and need to be used together. Okay, now obviously I am not going into the settings, but remember that every profile and total buy sell aggregator both have a threshold value. So if you want to highlight any particular candles which has a really good value, say 10 crores of buying and minimum 50 crores of selling, if you want to highlight these things, okay, let's say let me highlight by this way, and let me use a dull color for the normal bars. So I'll just use a very dull color. Okay. So you can see it will automatically highlight that these are the candles which are meeting the criteria. So you can jump into trade this one, especially these two candles. Now obviously you need to remember that this is 5 minute, and for scalping, as I said, that you must prefer a very shorter time frame, which is around maybe 1 minute or 2 minute, or even you can go less than 1 minute. But I would say that for index 1 minute is decent. Okay, so I have already uploaded a webinar on 1 minute ODX scalping. You can take some idea from that. All right, so moving on to next indicator. Now this indicator is a scalper. Let me reapply. Let this indicator load. I will talk about the other one first. Okay, so let us talk about the options table first now. This indicator is nothing but the replica of the option chain. So you can see the option chain here. Okay. Now sometimes what happens is you need all this data directly on the chart, right? You want because you want to see how the premiums are behaving when the market is falling. Okay. Now for example, you can see that this is call and put, and you have theta, delta, high, and close. You have many other options here. You can select which one you want to see. You can select all as well. I have selected, let me just remove theta and delta, and I'll just keep the high, close, and low. So you can see when the market started falling, the close price of around this area, this was the at the money at that time, 23,200. The price of this particular call was 1,133. And when the market came around this area, the price of this particular call was to 71, almost half the price, right? So this is useful to check that how premiums are falling. Not only that, you can also check the IV here. So how the whether IVs are increasing or decreasing, and based on that, how the market is reacting. So very soon we will have one IV indicator as well. So you can apply all the delta Greeks option Greeks here, and you can also apply high, low, close. Okay, because sometimes you may want to check whether which premiums are good. Where you know that you want to take a sell trade, but when you are selling, obviously the premiums has to be good, so that so sometimes you may take just sell only particular strike, or you may want to be aggressive and sell, say out sell in the money call or in the money put, based on what is the premium trading. Okay, so I'm not going to go in much detail in this, but this option tables is just nothing but the replica of the option chain. It gives you all the details directly on the chart. Okay, all right. So let us now talk about the scalper. Scalper is another very beautiful indicator, but again, I will talk about really good point here. Okay, and you will have really good insights of how to read this. And let me just enable number of splits to 5. Okay, I'll show you a really good example here, that how to know that market is actually going to fall. Okay, how to have a really fair idea. You see, this indicator name is ODX scalper. The reason it's scalper because it is created for somebody who's a scalper, who does scalping, and use ODX profile only. Okay. Now in this ODX profile, the time frame is 5 minutes, and whatever the buying and selling that has happened, it is showing for that 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes. But sometimes you may see a small number, say 5 crore or 3 crore, but you do not know the 5 crore and 3 crore is actually the overall overall what happened in that 5 minutes. They can be buying, say, 20 crore, and they can be selling of, say, 30 crore. So the net here is 5 crore. Okay, you do not get the full picture that what happened in that 5 minutes. You may see a picture, okay, 5 crore, but you do not know what happened. Okay, to get a really good insight that every minute what is happening, you can check by scalper. And see here, I'll show you the example here. Now in scalper, what do we prefer? Continuous form of selling or buying we prefer. Continuous form of selling and buying. Okay, let me just show you. Let me remove the highlights, highest values. Okay, see what is happening. That when I click on this particular candle, these are the time. So 12:45 to 46 to 47, 48, 49, and till 1 till 12:50. Okay. So what was happening? There was this buying happening started on the call side. So on these strikes especially. Okay. So because the market is around here, so these are almost at the money, this one and above side. So 2.2 crore. Okay. 2.5, 2. You see the next candle again. This is another 1 minute. Again, same thing happening, buying in the put. Another next candle, buying happening in the put. So this is a continuous formation. This is continuously buying happening in the put side, and there's a continuous selling happening on the call side, which gives you a picture that okay, this is not just not one shot. A big trader, trading really big quantities and doing this. No, this is happening continuously. That means overall general expectation of the market is actually bearish. That is why it is happening continuously. Otherwise, you will see pictures where there might be 20 crore value, but that happened only in just 1 minute. That happened only just 1 minute and nothing in the other candles, other 1 minute candle. Okay, so that is why it's important. You see, when I click on this particular candle, at least two times buying happening, only one time selling. That's fine. Okay, when I click here, 6 crore, 5 crore, 4 crore. Now this gives you a really good picture. This means that you can go and definitely buy put here because market is going to fall at least this much point. Okay, this is a really good picture. See, continuous formation of buying in the put 6 7 crore, 5 crore, 1 crore, and any value above 4 crore is a decent in Nifty 50 because it's just a 1 minute candle. You see 5 crore, 2 crore, 3 crore. But when I click on this particular candle, okay, on this particular candle, you see there's only one area where something happening, okay, 5.3, right? When I click here, you see, now what happens here is when you see a continuous formation of data, you will buy. Okay, when you see continuous formation, the immediate next candle, there was a change in the data. There was a change in the data, and that is 13.15. Okay, so let me just click here. So you are looking at the buying, which is happening continuation formation. Okay, continuation form of buying happening. You see again here. Okay, and the last candle here, 2.1.80. Now this can also this is a really good data, but the moment the next candle 13 after 13.14, just after 13 popping, the next candle, they started trapping it. You see, a lot of data got trapped. So because there was a really big value, this 8%, and see immediately the data there's no really big value coming. Okay, so there's a high possibility of somebody getting trapped, but there were early entries which I just showed you. This was especially on this particular candle because the market was just started to fall. On this, after this, they started trapping a lot of traders. Okay, so this is how the ODX scalpers helps. Obviously, you can get trapped here as well if you are taking really late entries, like for example, the market has fallen this much, and now if you are taking entry based on this data, you may get trapped. Okay, but that also you will come to know quickly. Say, suppose you bought put, okay, or maybe sold call, but the very next candle, you see mixed data here. The selling in the put side, selling put side means bullishness, right? And you see immediately the candle, this is a bullish candle, right? However, if you are a seller, you can still be, you can still benefit because there's a really big data change. So we are not expecting market to move really up. Okay, it might spend just time here. So the option traders will obviously lose, but the buyers can still benefit. Let us just see whether, say, suppose, so we know that they trapped here. Let's say you also got trapped. So what was the say suppose you bought a call at the money, you sold it, let's say. So you sold, say, on 23,000, you sold one at around 154, which was high at 10206. So we can take a median as well, but let us just take 154. Okay, 154 was the yes. Yeah. So 154, let us take 154. You sold calls 128 and 154. By the end of this candle, it was around 162. So not losing much. Okay, not losing much. And this is 123, only 5 rupees premium. Okay. So as a seller, you're still having some advantage. But if you are a buyer, then obviously you may lose out when the market started moving on the opposite direction. So it is say suppose you are buying put. Let us just take that as well. So it was around 141 and 116. Okay, say suppose you bought put and buy candle here, you see 98 and 77. So so losing more comparatively, right? So that is why it is important to check this data and take right entries and early. If you are late in the market, in the game, you obviously will lose out. Okay. The next indicator we are going to talk about is the ODX time stats notifier. The time stats notifier is a indicator which is applied on the futures, which is applied on the futures. Okay, it is only for the futures, and you can also apply on the equity as well. Okay, you can apply on the equity, futures, options, all you can apply, but do not apply it on index. Index is not a tradable instrument. Okay. Now, when you apply this indicator, it opens with this setting. And this settings here, you can do some custom setups. You can create some custom setups which can give you, which will give you alerts based on your setups. Okay. So the setup that I have created, say I want to buy put. Okay. I want to buy put, and I'm looking for a buy put setup where I want to look for the Bank Nifty future, or I can just say this is a sell setup. This is sell setup. Okay. So I have a condition, say delta. I want, these are my conditions. So I want the delta when the delta is below -1,000 delta, -1,000. Okay, -1,000 lots. And in the percentage term also, it is less than 25%. If these are conditions are met, I want it to be highlighting. Okay. So you can see that it is highlighting around this area. So it started here, 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 and there's no other place it was happening. Okay. I will create one more just to show you. I'll create for the buy setup. So ODX timestamp notifier. Okay. And I'm creating a buy setup now. I want to buy futures, say. And I want the delta to be more than 1,000 in 5 minutes. Okay. 1,000 delta for Nifty. And I want the delta percentage to be greater than 25%. That means there are enough buyers there. Okay. Because the percentage, the more bigger percentage, that means the more buyers are there compared to sellers. And these are my conditions. That's all. Okay. I want this to be highlighted as say this color, and the alignment should be on the middle, and execute. So let us see whether this has happened. So it will start loading. So you can see the condition met around this area. You can see here. Okay, so it highlights it, and the good thing about this indicator is for the order flow data. Order flow, whatever, because a lot of this is basically based on time stats notifier, time statistics. You have a lot of condition, but sometimes you want, okay, above this value you want to buy, above this percentage you want to buy. So that is why the indicator is created. Okay, and the good thing about this indicator, it gives an alert immediately, real time. You also have a pre-alert option, so you can say, suppose your conditions are meeting and the candle is not closed, but you want the alert 25 seconds before. You can open a pre-alert and it will give you an alert 25 seconds before. If the condition still meets when the candle is closing, it will give you alert again. If the condition does not meet, it will not give you alert. So pre-alert can, already make you aware that, okay, your conditions are about to meet. Be ready to take a trade. Okay, decide your strikes you want to buy, or maybe if you are buying future. So this is why ODX timestamps also very useful. Okay, next indicator. Now, this indicator is for those people who are doing scalping. Okay, who are doing scalping based on the ODX 1 minute scalp. Okay, so this is ODX profile, as you already know. We are looking at the data here, but it also is complemented by the ODX total buy sell aggregator, because wherever the histogram bars are big, we know that there's a lot of things happening across all the options, and you might be interested here. But what we are doing here is we are applying one more indicator. Now the indicator name is ODX cumulative delta. This ODX cumulative delta is a little different compared to normal cumulative delta. It shows you the delta, but it has upside and downside histograms. You see, below there is a histogram, and there is a above histogram. There will be above histogram also. I can just enable. You can see. Okay, for now I have hide this. So I can write a condition. So the condition is whenever the delta above 1,000 -400, I want this to be highlighted. Okay, in a 1 minute, because previously we were looking 5 minutes, right? So I'm now checking 1 minute. So whenever the delta is -400, I want this to be highlighted. So I know that now. Let us see here. See what happened. What is happening here now? Let me just click here. You see some activities started happening here, but the bigger histograms are here. So when I click on this particular candle, what do I see? I see 7 crores, more than 4 crore values here. A lot of 4 crore values. Okay. We are looking at 4 crore in a 1 minute value, this thing. Okay. I'll give you the 1 minute number also later on. But we are looking at currently 1 crore and above. You see a lot of 4 crore and above values here. What I also see is that futures are also being short. You see, there is a negative delta, really big negative delta. The sellers are actually increasing. And you can see on the ODX total buy sell aggregator also the activity started going up. You see across all the options. So that is where maybe I want to take a trade. Okay, so this here gives the really good indication that maybe the market is now getting bearish, and you see this is now happening continuously. So back to futures, back to back this two and this two here. Okay, so this is why it is important to look at the cumulative delta. Now the good thing about this is you cannot apply the cumulative normal cumulative delta on the spot chart, but I have applied because the ODX cumulative delta has an underlying feature where you can apply. So I can even apply Bank Nifty as well. Why? Because Nifty is weak. What about what if the Bank Nifty is maybe not that weak? Or maybe you're checking Bank Nifty, which is weak, but maybe Nifty is not that weak. So I can apply two ODX cumulative delta. Or also what I can do is, uh, I know this is Nifty 50 and the biggest the majority so we can what we know that there are 50 stocks and the weightage is we know that okay, Reliance has the biggest weightage, TCS is there, Infosys is there. Maybe I can apply two, three ODX cumulative delta and those stocks which has the highest weightage and see and also track those stocks. If the cumulative delta shows down, say out of four, at least two or three big stocks, then I know that okay, the market is maybe about to fall. So using cumulative delta, not only I can apply any other symbol, I can also create conditions which options are there. Okay, top histogram, below histogram, select the data point, say volume. It could be volume as well. Say I want the volume to be maybe more than 500. Okay, volume is always going to be greater than or equals to. Just highlighting with the yellow color, or you can select any other color as well. You see. So this is why the ODX cumulative delta is useful. It can be applied on index or any other symbol. All right. Moving on to next indicator, and after that we will talk about only one more indicator that will cover all the ODS indicators now. So I have applied here. The symbol here is Adani. You can see the Adani Enterprises. Okay, I have applied the ODX range profile. Now the range profile is different from ODX profile. Range profile is mostly used on the stocks, not on the index. You can use it on the index when the index are rallying, okay, only one side. Because the range profile helps you to understand the market when it is trending, okay. And stocks when they go up, they are either going up or they are falling, right? So in stock, the momentum is not mixed. Mostly like indexes where it can make really M shape, W shape, V shape, right? But the stocks it either goes one side up or maybe down. Okay, rarely not many stocks will do say V shape or something, right? So range profile helps you to understand that how buying and selling happening overall in a day range. Okay, so this profile when you apply, it has two profiles again: selected range and live. Live you already know live here. Now this live covers not just only the particular candle, it covers overall. So you can see arrows from 9:15 to whatever the latest candle. It will whatever the latest candle, it will mark that this is the latest candle and it is showing the data up till now. So or you can just click on any, let's say click on the last candle. Okay, now you see the data are same. So that means whatever the buying and selling happened across all the strikes, it is showing the data. It is from 9:15 till now. That is why we have this selected. So you can select any candle and you can come to know that okay, this is a strike and there's the buying, overall buying happened 1.53 crore. Or you can click here and you can see okay, overall buying is now 39 crore. Okay, and if you want to track overall of the day, okay, compare with the previous whatever candle you have selected. Let us say I click here. Okay, this was the market high. Let's say this was the high. Let me click here. So 2.63 crore. But when the market was about to close, you can see the 2400 strike has actually selling. Okay, it has actually selling 37 lakh. You see when I click here. So all the buying that was there, it actually they exited their position, right? So that is why the this indicator is really useful because when the market starts, for example, you see the this indicator is showing that the majorly buying came on this candle. So when I click here, you can see 1.95 crore, and up till that strike, the market will come. Okay, today there was not really good example. Otherwise, if the market was rallying some stock, I might show you any FNO stock where there's a buying happening. Say out of the money call 4% up, 4% up from at the money, but market will actually go up till that strike. So that is why the ODX range profile is useful. The BTSC trades also that you can do. Those webinars are already available on YouTube. You can check. Remember one thing, that range profile is for stocks. This is for stock to track what is the buying selling happening overall day. Okay, it shows you for the range. The reason there's a range here, because both profile shows range. One shows overall range up till whatever the latest candle, and the other one, this one shows whatever candle you select. So 915 to here, or 915 to here, or maybe here. Okay, so this is the range profile. Use it for the stocks. Lastly, I will talk about the indicator volume search, which you can apply by clicking here. You can search add indicator and volume search. See, when you apply this indicator, there will be four columns: volume, MA, SR, and CP. This SR is surge ratio. This CP is change in percentage. So let me just open the settings here. You need to do the settings. So whatever the moving average you want. So I want the averagely last 10 candle of the 30 minutes. Okay, 30 minutes last 10 candle. And then you have some other options here well, where you can enable the alert for the surge ratio 5 times, or for the change in percentage. So these two are not really that important. So I'll just hide this because these are common. So volume I don't want to see, average I don't want to see. I am interested in surge ratio and change percentage. Now, what this surge ratio shows, that whatever the average volume, the latest 30 minute is 3 times more. So I can just go to the. It is better to show you on the chart. So Sun Pharma last 30 minutes, the average 10 candle, it is more than that. The average 10 candle volume, whatever the average is, the current one has almost 3 times more. So you can see the volumes are really big here. Okay, so compared to the last 10 candle, the volumes are actually great here. You see, and then you have the change in percentage. So what do we check here actually? Sometimes what happens is market is falling, but really not with big volume. You see, not really big volume, or sometimes there can be really big volume, but there's not really much change in percentage. So the advantage of the volume surge is tracking both things at the same time. We want there should be really big volume, there should be really big volume, there should be really big change in percentage, because you may see that the market is going up, you may see a market is going up, okay, but the change in percentage is not really big. You want both the things should happen. Okay, so change in percentage, like for example, let us see the biggest change in percent. It's a really very small change in percentage because the market was falling today. On the negative side also really small. What I can do is I can apply maybe futures underlier. Let me replace this. I'm using equity cash symbol. You can use the futures as well. Okay. So let us just see. So again, Sun Pharma. Okay. Interesting. Havels. Let us check. Havels last 30 minutes shows a really, so it shows almost 6 times the volume. Let us see. You can see, but is the percentage also really big? So you want the percentage. Now I'm using 30 minutes. 30 minutes, obviously, you are not going to trade 30 minutes. This is just to show you. I want to use this on 3 minute actually, right? The reason I showed 30 minutes is to give you a better picture, because visually you can see, understand. But this, if it is happening in 3 minutes, if it is happening in a 3 minutes, that a really big change in percentage and the volume. Okay, and especially that is happening at the day high or the day low breakout. Yesterday day high, yesterday day low. If it is breaking that, and this scenario is happening, you may want to be interested in that particular stock, right? So that is where the volume surge is useful. Not only just shows the volume, but also the change in percentage of that particular candle. Okay, so this covers all the indicators. I want to just explain for a few more things. Just will take you 2 to 3 minutes more. There's an indicator called ODX updater. Okay. If you want to check whatever the latest indicators that are there, okay, say suppose you're not you don't see ODX cumulative delta, so what you need to do is double click this and it will download the latest indicators in case you don't have that. Okay, say ODX cumulative delta which we recently added, so it will add that and then you restart the Quantower, it will show the indicator. And there is one more indicator, ODX ODX wait history cleaner. This is an open indicator. That means there is no license in this indicator. When you run this, it clears the cache. So it is just to help you guys that if you are using a lot of templates and a lot of cache is forming, you can apply this and it will clear all the caches which are there. And then you just close this. You see history clean. Please close indicator. Reload charts. So you just close it and then reload. Okay, this is help you to clear the cache. It's an open one. And lastly, I have not talked about one more indicator because this is now not really that useful because of the total buy sell aggregator. So before total buy sell aggregator, there was an indicator multi-matrix aggregator. But now total buy sell aggregator is the advanced version of this. So you may skip this indicator. Or if you want to, you can use it. Okay. So this was the overview of all the ODX indicators. Remember, try these indicators if you're new to the Quantower. You can especially to track the futures and options data. Soon we will have some indicators on Watchlist as well, okay, for swing and also for intraday trading. If you have any further queries on this, you can type in the chat box. I'll answer all those questions and use the code ODX52 to take 5% discount advantage. Okay. All right. Thank you.